My name is Mike Williams, the Director of Recruiting and Chief Diversity Inclusion Officer for Michelin North America. We are absolutely honored to serve as the presenting sponsor for this fourth annual Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Summit. I'm joining you here from our North American headquarters here in Greenville. With more than 9,000 employees across the state of South Carolina and the 22,000 across the North American region. We've been a proud member of this business community for over 45 years. You likely know us as a tire manufacturer, but our purpose truly is about providing a better way forward for our employees, our customers, and our communities. And one of our core values is respect for people, meaning that we fully embrace diversity, inclusion, equity, and inclusion, and believe that it is our vision to provide a better way forward that also requires a commitment to advance equality for everyone. Earlier this year, we organized a strategic team within our company on the topic of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and in an effort to confront some of the ongoing and systemic related issues to racial injustice. And as a result, we've been taking actions to drive positive change by implementing unconscious bias training. Also a commitment to continue to recruit and hire diverse candidates into the organization. But I'll also like to say, be on the lookout. In January 2021, we'll be publishing our second diversity, equity, and inclusion report, where we'll be a lot more transparent in the makeup of our organization. And we will talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion through storytelling. So we're very excited to be here today as a presenting sponsor. And I now have the privilege of introducing our keynote speaker, Doug Harris. And you're about to hear from somebody who is just absolutely phenomenal. Doug has 31 years of experience in the field of diversity and inclusion in consulting. So I'm going to just read a few things about Doug. Prior to Doug joining the B Group Associates in 1993, Doug worked on several years as a consultant and trainer for Harvard House Incorporated, where he facilitated diversity and inclusion education sessions with senior executives of Fortune 500 companies. Today, as a leader in the Kaleidoscope Group, Doug empowers organizations to achieve their diversity and inclusion goals. His knowledge and expertise guides organizations through the creation of customized strategies that addresses the specific diversity needs of their business. His energy and passion for the work is contagious, and people seldom walk away without a memorable experience. Doug is also the executive coach to assist leaders in understanding their role in championing diversity and inclusion. His engaging style and unique ability to give diversity meaning at all levels of the organization has made him a sought-after and renowned diversity expert. I would just like to say that getting to know Doug, he is absolutely a phenomenal young man. You're going to be really intrigued by the discussions, the things that he has to say. So I would just say at this point, please just join me in welcoming Doug Harris.
Thank you very much, Mike, one of my new best friends. How are you, everyone? My name is Doug Harris. I'm the CEO of Kaleidoscope Group. Very excited to be here to discuss my topic of bringing your best I to the inclusive table. And we'll be talking about something I've been sharing for some time, the love principle. I love when Tim talked about his opening comments. He said it's what's inside of you. Having done this work for 31 years, I've created a lot of strategies, a lot of plans, a lot of behavioral models. What really has set things aside as I've seen this work mature is what's inside of you that drives how you behave and how you show up. And today we're going to be talking about the concept of love being inside of you. Now, I'm often asked, well, Doug, you can't talk about love in the workplace. I said, well, then don't invite me. Because the way I operate, love is a principle that brings our best out and brings our best to the table. So as you look at the presentation description, that next level of transformation, it's not really going to be about strategies and plans and behaviors, but really it's going to be about what's inside of you and what you bring to the table. And so my personal brand is that I lead people better than I found them, and I do it with love. I lead people better than I found them, and I do it with love. And we're going to be talking about that, not love as an emotion, but love as a principle. So I look forward to sharing with you, and hopefully there'll be some insights shared that, so as Tim said, when you leave, there'll be some new inspiration and thoughts around how to exist in the world. So a little bit about my company, Kaleidoscope Group, and their background: full service diversity and inclusion consulting, certified minority-owned business. We've assisted organizations in this space for over 30 years. We've worked with over 800 clients across the world, 44 different countries, 40 staff, 25 independent consultants, and specialty niches in areas of unique need. Here is my team. They are so happy based on great leadership. So if y'all could laugh, I know y'all would probably be laughing right about now. But the reality is very diverse, all backgrounds, experiences, locations, getting the work of diversity and equity and inclusion done throughout the world. Here's a few of the clients we've worked with over the time, all different industries, all different backgrounds. We're very proud of all of those relationships. And here's our strength as an organization: real people, real conversation, real issues, real change. And that word real begins with what's inside of you. As was talked about in the opening, what's inside of you. If you're really trying to just share what's out of your mind and not really in your heart, it doesn't come across as genuine. What's really inside of you. Here's some of the things that we do. So any component of this work, we're very capable in, but today is going to be a little bit different discussion, not about our strategic work, but really about the work of amplifying your I and what's inside of you. So here's our agenda: bringing your best I to the inclusive table. We're going to be talking about what is an inclusive table, what is the love principle, the fundamentals of that, the impact, and how do we move forward in regards to creating a world that values that inclusive table. So this is a question I want you to just think about. And if you can, put a little letter in the chat. But are you bringing your best I to the inclusive table? Just put it in chat. A, no. B, sometimes. C, yes. D, very much so. So just throw it in chat, and Tim will give me a flavor for the responses. We're not polling here. He'll give me a flavor for the responses. So we're going to give you about 5 seconds to respond to that. What is that flavor looking like, Tim? Did you put it in chat, Tim? Okay. There are probably many different places where you are around this response of no, sometimes, yes, very much so. Many times, sometimes wins, because people will show up at their best in the right environment. What we'll be talking about today is how do you show up in your best no matter what the environment is. So let's continue on with this process around this inclusive table and what does that really mean. So again, having done this work as long as I have, when I first got into it, was about diversity, getting people in the door. Then it went to valuing their differences, inclusion, equity, fairness, and opportunities. And today we're talking about a maximized collective effort called unity. And so that's kind of where I'm spending my time around unity. And unity is when everyone brings their best and effectively collaborates to achieve outstanding organizational results. And the mindset underneath that is we are better together. Now, to get to this place, there's a need for an inclusive table. So here's a table, what we call a homogeneous table, where everybody look alike and everybody acts alike. Okay? This next table is they're similar, but they're different. They're not diverse, but at least they value their uniquenesses. The next table, they're very diverse, but only a few people are empowered, and they're wearing a crown. So you're there, but are you really bringing your best eye to the table? And then this last table, everyone is empowered. Everyone has a crown. Everybody is amplifying their eye. Now here's the reality. The crown indicates empowerment, and empowerment is your best eye. At the inclusive table, everyone has a crown. Everyone has a crown. Now, just because you are sitting there does not mean you are empowered. If you're at the table and you're not saying anything, well, you might as well not be at the table. We want to amplify our eye, but we want to amplify our eye for the betterment of all. Some people, when they get to the table, all they do is talk about themselves and their own issues. We want to amplify the eye, but we're at a place because of what's in us and who we are, we're bringing our best to the table to maximize results. So I'll be challenging you a little bit, but also supporting you to get to your best eye. Historically, we've tried to get to the table. Now we want to be empowered at the table. That's the mission of where we're headed today. So which point do you resonate with the most? Not sure if we'll be able to get this response, but this is a big question. Someone has to put on my crown, or I can put on my own crown. Which question do you resonate with? Or even if I don't get answers, this is a big decision. There's so many people sitting around waiting for somebody to give them a crown. I'd have a crown if my boss liked me. I had a crown if it wasn't raining outside. We have the capability to put on our own crown. We have the capability to put on our own crown. So let's dig into how that might happen. When we think about amplifying this eye, here's some of the words that was on the video. Influence, how do you manage privilege? How do you stay determined? And how do you believe and execute in inclusion? But the real big here is, how do you have an impact? How do you have an impact? This work is kind of going in two different directions. One is, how do we really make sure we support the exclusive people so they don't feel excluded? And then there's another place where it's going, well, how do we empower people so they bring their best to achieve superior results? Yes, exclusion is real. Challenges are real. Micro inequities are real. Unconscious bias is real. But people not feeling their power is real as well. Now, how do you get to feeling your power and having impact is through the love principle. So what is the love principle? The love principle helps drive the best eye. This is not a do presentation. This is a be presentation. Who are you? Who am I? Tim started with that question. Who am I? The question I most get as a consultant, well, what can we do? What should we do next? What's the best plan? What's the best action? Those aren't bad questions, but the reality is, who are you doing it when you're putting that plan into play? So this concept of what is the love principle? What is the love principle? The love principle and its purpose is to assess and get in touch with a new driver that can lead to a more fulfilled life and a higher level of existence. It's what's in you that leads to the higher level of existence. The love principle, the fundamental belief structure that enables us to effectively engage and exist with a higher purpose in mind. I want all of you to think about the kind of conversations you have, the kind of thoughts you have about self, others, institutions, and the world. Are you thinking at a higher level or a lower level? And sometimes that's based on your challenges, but many times that's based on what's inside of you. What's inside of you. So what is the love principle? It's about your thoughts, your beliefs, and your behaviors. Thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. So we often talk about behaviors, but not really dig into our beliefs. And what are the beliefs that drive the love principle? So let me share some of those with you. Love is a principle versus an emotion. Many people think love is amplified like. How can you love somebody if you don't like them? That's not the case. Love is a higher level of purpose. Several years ago, I grew up in Hartford, Connecticut, born and raised. I've lived in Chicago for the last 40 years. And I went home and I seen one of my buddies, we were talking, and we got into a little bit of an argument over nothing, but he got real upset. And so in the middle of this argument, he started cursing me out and he was going off. I didn't engage at that level, but I let him do what he was doing. And then he slipped and was about to fall. And I jumped over, grabbed him, and held him up. And he said to me, he said, man, I was talking about you like a dog. You gonna help me up? I said, this ain't about you. This is about what's inside of me. So many times we believe we should give love to those who deserve it. I'm not giving you love because you deserve it. I'm giving you love because I'm about love. And we let circumstances impact how much love we have and who we should love. But love isn't an emotion, it's a principle that really believes in the best for everyone. And it operates out of care and concern. Love moves beyond self-focus to higher purpose. Love does not have respect to person. How could you love them? Because that's what's inside of me. And love brings out the best you. Love brings out the best you. And at the end of the day, what love does, it changes your existence. You can see people walking down the street, face like this. What's the matter? I got problems. Well, who don't got problems? You better smile. I wish I could see y'all now. Y'all better smile. I'm gonna keep going. I want y'all to like me by the end of this presentation, but you control your destiny. You control your energy. I'm not saying you don't have problems, but you control your destiny, your existence, and how you show up in the world. So as we go a little bit further into this, your head and your hands give you a living, but your heart gives you a life. Your head and your hands gives you a living, but your heart gives you a life. I often tell people, if you have goals, goals lead to achievement, but vision and purpose in your heart leads to fulfillment. And that's what we're talking about today. So what is the transition in your motivations to get here? What is needed to get to this place of a new life? Head is your strategy, hand is your behaviors of action, heart is your belief structure, which activates your head and hand and leads to a new life. So you got to believe it's not about you, but it's about who you impact. If you're spending all day thinking about yourself, that could be a concern. And I'm not saying you don't have to have goals and purpose, but you want to be thinking about how can I impact the world? How can I impact others? It's not about what you achieve, it's about what you leave behind. It's about legacy. I have 7 children, and they're very different. They're very diverse, very unique. But I'm thinking about each and every one of them. What can I leave behind in them to make them better? Every person I interact with, it's about what am I leaving behind in them that they can take on. I don't want it myself. I want to be a creator of powerful people and let the love in me shine in others. And it's not about what is your role, it's about what is your purpose. What is your purpose? So you're going to be going through many sessions today. They're going to be sharing strategy, tools. As you work on those, which are necessary, I want you to think about what's your motivation in regards to doing that. Now, the fundamentals of the love principle are simple. It's truth versus peace. It's being growth versus correction, and genuine versus generic. Tim was messing with that word authentically. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just going to go with genuine. Genuine versus generic. Truth versus peace. Growth versus correction. And genuine versus generic. Some people want the truth. Some people want peace. But the truth is guided by love. The truth is guided by love. And so when you're living the truth, there's you, there's the truth, and then there's the audience. Now, we'll tell the truth to the people we like, or the people that see the world the way we see it. We have to get to the place where we're telling the truth to everyone. We got to get to the place where we're telling the truth to everyone. And so love is based in truth. Love is based in judging others. And love is based in judging ourselves and loving other people. What we find today is people do the exact opposite. We're judging others and loving ourselves. This is a big one. If you spend more time in the mirror, you'll be surprised how much better the world gets. So I know we want to be talking, let's talk about inclusion. Let's talk about getting along. Now let's talk about being powerful people who can address the things that's needed for inclusion to occur. Belief in the truth is the beginning of the love journey. Now, the question I always get is, should we share all truths? No, you don't need to share all truths. Here's the purpose of the truth. It's about enabling growth. It's about building trusting relationships and enhancing results. Someone can say, I don't like your shirt. Well, you ain't got to buy my shirt. That ain't what the truth's about. It's about enabling growth, building trust, and enhancing results. And the other thing that's very key with the truth is about seeking the truth. People don't even want to hear the truth. That's why they don't give the truth. You want to seek the truth. I was in Texas a few years back, and while just hanging out in the city, people came up to me and said I reminded them of someone. Now, this is me, right? All the slender people said I look like T.D. Jakes. All the full-figure people said I look like Emmitt Smith. Right? And I said, well, who you look like? Well, if you were slender, he said, boy, you look just like T.D. Jakes. Now, who's telling the truth? They both are. That's why we need to seek the truth from different resources. We go to the truth that we like. And we don't grow because of that. If you're going to amplify your eye, you better get some diverse friends with different viewpoints and seek the truth from different perspectives. So after I eat a couple of cheeseburgers, I look like T.D. Jakes. If I do 3 sit-ups, I look like Emmitt Smith, but that's okay. Both of them powerful, so I don't mind looking like either one of them, okay? But this is the reality about the truth. So here's another, it's important to get diverse input. How comfortable are you with the truth? How comfortable are you with the truth? Again, we're not going to get responses here, but just think about how comfortable, because this is the key to bringing love to the table. The second thing is believing in growth. There's 4 ways to see yourself: as who you are, as who you think you are, as the people who like you think you are, and as the people who dislike you think you are. And really, you're all of those. Sometimes we only want to hear part of that story, but you're all of those. And we're most comfortable with people who are like us, but we learn the most from those who are different from us. So again, from a growth standpoint, you want to bring all of these differences to the table. And then the last one is just around being genuine. And being genuine means being you. Everyone is gifted. Trying to live in a gift that isn't yours is a miserable life. We do a lot of educational work. I'm a joke teller. I tell jokes, and I've seen some of my colleagues tell my jokes. And then they'll say, that's a bad audience. I said, no, that wasn't a bad audience. You're just a bad joke teller. Don't live in my gift. Get your own gift. So when you have love in your heart, you're not looking to duplicate anyone. You learn from everyone, but you find your own gift and be genuine in it and not be jealous of other people's gifts. That's what love principle will bring out to you. So the impact of the love principle, here's the barriers to it. We hang on oftentimes to defeated memories. And it gives us doubt versus having confidence. Manage your memories. You can't control your experience, but you can control your memories. A buddy of mine back home, we was hanging out. I went back to Hartford again to see my friends, and we seen another partner walk by. We waved at him, and my buddy didn't have a lot of energy in that wave. I said, what, you don't like him or something? He said, yeah, man, remember when we was little, we let him borrow $5 and he didn't give it back to us. And this is 20 years ago, right? I said, okay. Then another buddy walked by, we waved at him, we said hi. I said, you remember him? Remember we were stuck downtown and he gave us bus money? He said, no, I don't remember that. Manage your memories. Your memories can take you into a miserable life. Or your memory can take you to a great place. Manage your memories. Operating out of annoyance, which is more selfish than being unselfish. No willingness to let love mature. It takes time. Be patient to let that love mature. Managing the undesirable reaction. If I had $1 for every time somebody said, I said it, they didn't like it. Okay, say it again. Don't become fearful, be faithful. And thinking you are better than you really are. Being unrealistic, being genuine. So these are barriers to the love principle. Now, when you think about the outcomes of the love principle, it's empowerment, engagement, equity, and explosion. You believe confidently in yourself. And it's not about ego, it's about humility belief. You can be confident and arrogant, or you can be confident and humble. There's another source that has to be within you to take confidence and use it humbly. But that's necessary. Relate powerfully and unselfishly with others. Use fairness as your guiding principle, and this will help you achieve unbelievable results. So with the love principle, you individually own your destiny, you relate genuinely and powerfully to others, and you inspire and motivate change. Amplify the I. You inspire and motivate change. I love all of y'all. Wherever you are listening, I love you. And I don't even care if you don't like me back. It don't make a difference. Because I'm operating out of what's in me. And put this inside of you. Tim, start off. What's inside of you? Yeah, you can behave right. You know the nice things to say, and you've learned all the right words, and you're woke, and you know how to do this. But what's inside you? If love isn't in your heart, you're going to be a woke, irrelevant person. Love has to be within your heart. And love never fails. People fail on love. Love never fails. Just keep your heart pure. Does that mean you're not going to run into barriers? Somebody's not going to try to manipulate you? All that's going to be there. But keep your heart pure and keep love in the front. What it does is it keeps you positive and moving forward in spite of circumstances. In spite of circumstances. So as you move towards the love principle, I want you all to think about, Tim kind of mentioned this in the opening, reassessing, redefining your purpose. Believe in the best of people. I was telling the story, this guy, he was not listening to people in the meeting. And so a young lady came up to me, she said, how do I tell him he's not listening? I said, well, you got to believe in helping him grow versus correcting him. So this guy had made her angry. So her love was diminished based on that anger. So it's two ways she could approach him. She could have said, look, you're not listening to me. You're pissing me off. That's feedback. Or it could say, look, I know you want to hear from everyone, but many times when I share and I see others share, it's only certain voices you're relating to. I want you to be the best manager you can be. So therefore, if you listen to everyone and give us a chance, I think it's going to make everything better and us more involved. So I'm not even thinking about my concern. I'm thinking about helping him grow. That's the love principle. I believe in the best of people. I believe when people are not doing something, they need help, and you're willing to assist them in doing that. And it's not about what you want, it's about what you want for them. So if we're going to amplify this I that we're talking about, we're going to have to bring this love into our existence. And in the reality, we become powerful. And power is seen as a bad word. People don't even want power in that. Shoot, I want to be as powerful as I can. The world needs power, but they need power from unselfish, caring people. And all of you are uniquely powerful. You are amplified I. My power may be different from yours, but it exists in all of us. And we owe the world our power. If we're sitting around whining and crying, you're selfish. We owe the world our power. And holding back our power is a selfish disservice to the world. Embrace the love principle as the foundation of your powerful journey so you can be that amplified I at the table. We don't need your presence. We need your power. We don't need your presence. We need your power. If I had y'all live, I would right now say, stand up. I am powerful. Don't be ashamed. Don't be worried. I don't want to be powerful. I just want to be nice. No, you want to be nice and powerful. Sweet and powerful. Caring and powerful. You owe the world your power. You owe the world your amplified I. Stop waiting for the world to change so you can be powerful. Be powerful and change the world. Thank you very much for your time. I'm kicking off the Greenville Nika White exploration here. And thank you for that time. Hopefully something in that conversation was meaningful. I believe Tim has some questions for me, and hopefully I'll have some answers that can help bring this topic to life. And I also want to just thank you, Nika, for the opportunity to be here with you and to share. And again, hopefully this was of some value to your audience. Yeah? Good deal. You ready, Tim?
I'm ready.
All right.
So first of all, thank you so much for that. And you flowed through it. And I love the love stuff. I tell people with all the apps on your phone, love is the killer app. You know, everybody's got an app.
Okay.
But we need more of it. So let's just jump into some questions. And I do have some questions for the audience. So anyone that's watching right now, I encourage you to please go to the Q&A tab and pop those questions in there, because I have some coming in and we want to answer as many of them as possible. So we get to spend some time here and try to answer as many questions as possible. But there's one that's already someone has sent in the from the attendees, but it goes right along with one that we already have for you, which is there a place for love in the workplace? I mean, does the love principle, do you feel the love principle is practical in the workplace at all levels? Let's take it up one notch there.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, I think that naturally, as humans, we implement and execute on love in a selective way. You know, and so we say, yeah, I have love, but I don't know if it's right here. I don't know if it's right at this level. I don't know if it's right with this person who did me wrong. I believe love has a place in the workplace at all levels and at all times. Because in the workplace, you are required to deliver results. And things get in the way of delivering those results. Things support delivering those results, and relationships to deliver those results. And so often people believe they cannot address certain people or give correction and input to certain people, but you have to have love in your heart to do it. I mean, last week a guy asked me, you know, Doug, how do you handle buttholes? You know, I said, you love them. He said, how can you love a butthole? I said, try it on. The more you love them, the more lovable they'll become. You know, so we just want to be selective, and we got all these barriers where I can only give love in certain ways and to who likes me. Just try it on. And all that's saying, you don't got to like them. Don't think about this. Ain't about like. This is about I want what's best for you. Not because of you, but because of what's in me.
Wow. Wow, that's so good. And I like it. Try it on, you know? Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, like I always tell people, you want something, you go first. You know, okay. You want friends, make yourself friendly. Yeah. You know, those types of things. Go. So
we gotta hang out, Tim, man. We can have, man. If I drink, I would drink with you, man, but I don't drink. We get a lemonade, all right?
We'll get a lemonade together. That cool, refreshing drink. Yeah. So how about when others don't respect your love? What about that when they just don't respect your love?
Yeah, that's powerful, Tim. And you know, there's an old adage around, you're just putting water on the plant. See, many times when we share our love, we think we're going to get an immediate reaction. Thank you so much for your love. What a beautiful statement. Some people don't like to hear what they need to hear. And so when you water that plant, you know, I had a colleague, I told them something. They didn't like it. Matter of fact, they walked out the office, came back to me 2 days later. They said, I talked to my spouse about that. And they said, you was exactly correct. So when you water with love, you don't know what you're going to get back. You don't know how it's going to occur. And what they're doing is they're shutting you out from sharing that love again and that truth again. So just let it, you know, you have the right intentions. Be relaxed with it. You're planning something. You may not be the one that make it move. Someone else may be the one that actually helps it to grow.
Yeah, because some plant, some water, right?
Exactly.
Right. So I like so what I'm hearing you say is you still have the intention to love. So align your intention with the impact that you ultimately want. And you just keep doing that. As long as you keep doing that, you can still take care of you being the best you and showing up.
There you go. And you don't align, the other side of what you're saying is you don't align to the reaction.
That's right. That's good. Powerful.
Yeah, don't align to the reaction. You align to the desired impact.
Awesome. So let me ask you this. How about if the past pain makes it difficult to give love? So let's just say even in a work context. So I'm a person that believes I'm the same person everywhere I go. You get to be one guy, one woman, whoever you are, you're one person and you go into those different areas, but it's too hard to try to be work you, home life you, friend you, neighbor you. Be one person and be clear on that. But sometimes life gets messy and relationships get messy. So what do you do if the past pains make it difficult? What do you do? How do you help people do that, especially when it comes to the workplace? Because I know a lot of people here, it's a workplace thing.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a great question, Tim. And what the past pain does is it ends up being put on another person. And what I'm getting at here, if you've been hurt and there's pain, anything that looks like that in your next relationship or your next encounter will have to deal with that pain and that history. So it's really shielding you from being who you can be. And my old man used to tell me, say, you'll become what you hate.
Yeah.
So stay away from hate.
Ooh.
You'll become what you hate, so stay away from it. And what you got to do is overcome that hate with love. Understand, people don't do you wrong, they do themselves. They're not doing you wrong, they're doing themselves. So take that pain, and it's real. Get some professional help. I don't want to be a psychiatrist, but get some, go on the couch if you need to. But overcome that because it's stopping you. I'm worried about you. And the workplace needs your love, your family needs your love. And every time it gets tilted, everybody's going to lose out. You're going to go home and be mad at your family members because of something that happened at work. Now, they ain't going to send me home mad. I'm going home kissing everybody.
That's good.
This is the way this stuff works.
Yeah, well, that's the way it's supposed to be. So I have another one here. So handling difficult, toxic person who's in a management position.
Yes.
And you're talking about love.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah, it's deep, So the first step is to put the impact they're having on you and their behavior to the side. And just start thinking about, how can I help this person?
Okay.
It's hard to think about someone you can help when they're hurting you.
Yeah.
It's hard. We're going to be honest about that.
Yeah. And also knowing that, remember, even though when you're trying to help, you got to be careful because you can end up feeling wounded because you're like, all I'm trying to do is help you. But the thing is everybody's on a different journey. And everybody, we don't know all the dynamics in their life and the things that they've experienced. And that's the other thing we have to do is when you want to serve people, service is not about speed, it's about patience.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. I'm going to send you my speech so you can make it. Yeah. but that's how love works. Love is real, man. It's a life. Sometimes y'all walking around here with the poo-poo face, and get you some love.
Yeah, I hear you. So how about this one? How does love and vulnerability intersect in your mind? We have a great question. I think that's a powerful question.
It is, question. And the reality is that vulnerability, and when you look at like the definition of it is, it's almost like I'm putting myself out there. And if I put myself out there, it might not come back, not hurt. I'm not vulnerable. But you got to shift your thinking on that, And so the thinking is that I'm putting myself out there because I love people and I want what's best for them.
Wow.
Now, that's not going to always come back in a beautiful way. A lot of people don't want the truth. I've told some people the truth, and they say they ain't gonna never talk to me again. I don't miss none of them.
I love it.
I don't miss none of them.
Yeah. I call it a necessary ending.
See, I told you I'm gonna send my speech to you so you can make it. But that's the reality. That's the life, man. Don't you worry, but don't have them people be throwing, they my manager. I don't care who they are. Early in my career, I was telling my boss, I was a young guy, and I was telling my boss's boss about a colleague that was, giving me some little issues. He said, look, man, don't worry. He said, all these people are going to report to you one day. He said, now how you handle them is going to help you be how fast you can get ahead. If you let them keep you down, that means you ain't ready to manage them.
Woo.
So your power comes from how peacefully. It's hard to argue with people who ain't arguing with you. It's hard to be a butthole around sweet people. It has an impact, trust me.
Yeah.
That's the love principle. So you stay true to you. Don't worry about their reaction, how toxic they are.
Yeah. Right. And be careful to not mirror that bad behavior anyway.
No question. That's what happens.
Yeah, you don't want to mirror those things. What you want to do is recognize, validate it's real. Doesn't mean I agree with it.
Yes.
But I'm demonstrating that love to say, look, I'm willing to come alongside. I'm willing to be a ride along with you. Now I don't have to participate in it. Yeah. So it's a different type of complimenting. I'm not complimenting the behavior. I'm compliment with an E. Like, here, this love seat goes with this sofa. You know what I mean? Like, I'm bringing it in to match it up. And I'm saying, but I'll meet you here. But remember, and that's the thing, because I believe leadership, and this is, DEI is a strong component of leadership, and we need more of it. But leadership is influence. Yeah. And so I don't try to change a person's mind. What I try to do is show them what something different looks like.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Your interest in them is because you want what's best for them.
Absolutely.
You know when you're trying to correct them versus help them grow.
Okay. Here's another one. I love this. And it's kind of I want to combine these two questions. It's from Omar and Dan. But first one is how to show your stance with love to microaggressive comments. But if we could also put this in here, I would like to kind of add this in. How do you change the heart if their heart doesn't want to change, and should you just let them be?
Yeah, no question. And so I'm gonna go back to what you just said. We're in this world not to change people, but to influence people. And so many times their reaction to our effort guides our effort. So I'm gonna love you no matter how you react. You can tell me, get the heck out of my face. I'm like, that's all right, cool, I do that, man, but you really do need to stop doing that. The love is not, so what ends up happening is, again, this reaction that we get influences us. And as you mentioned, Tim, people had a lot of stuff going on in their life that it's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah.
So you just give it.
Right.
And don't let them impact you, because you're going to give it the wrong way. It's a higher level of living. You got to try it on. I
love it. Try it on. High level of living.
You got me and Tim at the lemonade stand.
Lemonade stand. So here's a question. Here's a question. It says, good morning. As a woman, how do you water with love without it being perceived as a weakness?
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. And I'm also honoring the fact that women are seen differently than men anyway. And when they come with love, it's like, oh, she's a softie, or whatever other word they kind of want to use. But it's very dynamic on where we are in the world today. And woman leadership is going to be the key to changing this messed up world we're in.
Okay.
I'll make that declaration, because what's naturally in you is what's naturally in what the world needs. Now, we're all individuals. I don't like stereotypes, but nurturing people, loving people, seeing the best in people, holding their hand when their hand shouldn't be held, giving them a hug, knowing what they need before they say it, that ain't all in men. You know what I mean? That ain't in that. We can get a little bit of that. We can go take some classes. My little lady the other day, she said, when people ask you, when you ask people how they doing, you really don't care how they doing, do you? I said, I probably don't. I'm just doing a nicey, but when my girl asks about how she's doing, she went, "You all right?"
Mm.
So the world needs what you have, and the world has been for so long trying to mold you in to being like these knucklehead men and saying, if you like us, you won't be weak. We need more of your weakness and strength, and I'm gonna call it humility.
Okay.
To focus on love.
Okay. I love it.
We need more of it. We need more. And once women get more empowered, they're going to teach the rest of us the things that we need. Now, also learn from men, but don't let your power get your light shine down.
There we go. I love that. Yeah. So we should all be receptive to truth. Here's another question, but how do you receive the truth when it's presented to you in a disrespectful and or demeaning tone?
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. And you know, I have an athletic background, so I spent a lot of time in a locker room and on teams. And one of the best components of that experience is you get all kind of truth in the football locker room and on the sideline, and it comes in crazy ways, you know. And there's another level of maturity to sift through the method and get to the message. You know, so we'll get hung up in the method and lose the gold of the message. And so I'll say, stick to the message. Don't worry about the method. And then after you get the message, I'd make a recommendation about a new method. So what you're saying to me, Tim, is this. Yeah, good. You want me to do this. Yes, good. Next time, I prefer if you wouldn't use that method of screaming at me in the meeting. I mean, I prefer we go to the sideline and you talk about that one-on-one. But get the message, and then correct the method.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, we're getting I mean, there's so many good questions here. So I'm moving along and so
now if I run over time, it's your fault, right? That's cool.
That's right. It'll be my fault. So hopefully everyone in the backstage area will let me know. Hey, so is walking away from a toxic work environment that has leadership that will not change, is that weakness to you, or is it self-love? Sometimes people just don't want to change. So is walking away giving up on love?
It's a great question. I would say no if you have, and again, you got to be comfortable with yourself, put the ample time in to try to correct the scenario. Sometimes we walk away as soon as we hit a bump, as soon as we experience something that we don't like. You know, because sometimes that place where you are that is toxic needs you way more than you need it. See what I'm saying? So we can't walk away. And again, I'm a spiritual guy where God put you, because you're the light in that darkness to take it to the next level. Now, if you're not getting any respect or feedback or appreciation, don't kill yourself there. Go somewhere where you are appreciated. That's not a bad decision, you know. And when you leave, though, leave with love. Don't leave with anger. I'm so glad to get out of this stupid old toxic place, brother, because you're going to take that same mess to your next place.
Okay.
If you let that pain stick within you, try to address it, move forth, and take your love elsewhere. But many times we're thinking we're taking our love elsewhere. We're bringing the pain with us.
Oh, yeah, it's following you.
The next place.
Oh, yeah. There's a difference between leaving and going. So either leaving something or going to something. There's a difference.
Right.
So
very different.
How do you help organizations and DEI leaders apply this love principle? How do you do that?
Yeah, I think when people go to change, we talk a lot about your thoughts, your beliefs, and your behaviors. Your thoughts, your beliefs, and your behaviors. So what leaders want most frequently are the behaviors. But sometimes when your thoughts and beliefs aren't right, it's hard to behave in certain ways. So we give out and we talk a lot about the belief structures of inclusive leadership. One of them being care and concern. You know, one of them believing in the best of all people. So it's not just about behaviors. And when you start talking about beliefs, now I might not start with the word love, but love, if I'm opening up my mouth, love is in the conversation. But people can buy that. They can buy that. And I've done a lot. It's 31 years of, and I can say this with humility, changing the lives of people.
Mm.
I mean, I've had the spouses of people call me up like, you don't know me. I'm Susie Johnson, Frank the Butthole Johnson's wife, and I'm so glad he met you. I'm so glad he met you. He's a new man. You know what I tell her? I love Frank, just like you do. We just got to clean him up. That's my responsibility. He was put before me to clean it up.
Mm. Okay, here's another one. This is kind of, we're going to make a little shift here. How do you build an inclusive table? How do you know if those at your table are empowered, it said on or with the same beliefs?
Yeah.
And does that matter? Does it matter?
Right. See, Tim got these questions. Go ahead, Tim. Well, you know, you got to set clear expectations for your table of what an inclusive table looks like and what you expect of it. You know, we can't be reactive to what we see that's not in line. Here's what we expect from each other. We expect to hear the truth. We expect to respect all opinions. We expect to communicate authentically and be honoring people when we share. You know, we expect to be thinking about solutions more so than problems. So you create the criteria for your table. And then you say, we expect to courageously enhance the capability of others. Everybody at the table has the role of dealing with everybody at the table. If I'm at the table and you see something you don't like come to me, come to them. Everybody has to encourage people. So an inclusive table, sometimes we're waiting for the manager to correct it. No, you correct it. So we all have to take on that ownership, but do it in love, trying to make people better. And that's how you create an empowered, inclusive table. Not easy, but that's why diversity ain't working there. Because we go run into the diversity office trying to get our problems handled. You better get powerful and talk to your manager and get it handled.
Woo! I love that right there. Now that'll rattle some people right there. But
I know my time is about up, Tim. That's why.
We're up on it. So, but we have a couple of things here, though. This is good. So, and I'm looking. I mean, some of these. These are great questions. Everybody, thank you so much for these questions. So here's you said earlier, it was a comment that you made, a comment on the current question he said earlier. And this is something that someone shared as a comment that I want to share, that by my helping you is not about you. It is about me and what is in my heart. And I want to go ahead and end, because this they pointed that out, which I think is a powerful thing that goes along with what you just said.
Yes.
I mean, it goes along with that part. I mean, it's like we've got to learn to have unfiltered conflict. You know what I mean? That's healthy. I mean, every relationship has necessary tension.
Yes.
Now, there's the unnecessary stuff that's a problem. Yes. But I love what you talked about: thoughts, beliefs, behaviors. Well, I tell people behavior follows belief. No person will consistently behave in a way that's inconsistent with how they see themselves.
That's it.
You know? And I love that, because, I mean, we need to be able to look at that. We got to start with ourselves, man. You know? And what role do values play when it comes to interacting for you? Because you know, I know that if I was in the room with someone who was an atheist, I'm a Christian, I'm with an atheist, someone who's a Buddhist, someone who's an agnostic, maybe someone that's, I mean, whatever. I mean, they could be a universalist. I don't know. But if I sit there and we all talk about our beliefs, we may not move forward well, but we talk about what we value, we can advance. So how do you bring the love and value together to get a greater outcome and D&I efforts and what organizations are looking for? How do you bring those two together? What are some practical things that the audience, the attendees can hear from you that say, do these things and do them regularly if you want greater outcomes? Yeah,
no question. And that's the type of question. I'm gonna send Nika an invoice But but the reality is this, is that alignment comes up high, and sometimes we try to get alignment going down low. So if we're seeing the world from two different places, you go higher and say, where do we connect? So for example, love is a concept that almost connects all types of belief structures.
Right.
I'm gonna say all kinds, because some people just in hate, and I ain't really looking for no alignment there anyway. But if you're religious, your faith, your background, love is a core component of that. Let's go up. And my values say, I often say, I love my opinion. I love yours just as much. And so when that's your value, there's something to be learned. There's something to grow from. And then there's sometimes it's like, look, man, we ain't going to be together on that. But we can be together on this. So we're in a world now where we no longer know how to disagree. We don't even know how to be different today.
Yeah.
We don't even know how to be different. If you're this, you bad. If I'm this, I'm good. You know, we're in a bad place. So love allows you to realize you are who you are because of where you came from. I'm a Christian, not because I'm some super Christian. My mother drove me to church every Sunday by the earlobe. That's why I'm a Christian. If she wasn't grabbing my ear, I might not be a Christian either. You better get in there, shut up, and listen. So I can sit about, oh yeah, I'm a Christian. No, I ain't nothing. My mama made me one, and my deacon grandfather made me one. You see what I'm saying? So we take all this credit for who we are. We ain't nothing but what somebody made us. And if we had grew up in another household, we'd be something different. That ain't no good or bad person. That's just a person with a different experience. Now let's talk about that, because I love you too. I love ain't selective. I'm even starting to love Tim. You know, this love thing, this love thing don't stop y'all. And I'm telling you, you're going to be happy. This ain't nobody, you going home mad. Y'all mad because there ain't enough love in y'all. I'm walking down the street like this. Shoot, y'all better get some of this stuff. Amplify the I. That's what Nika told me in her email. Amplify the I and do it with love.